is it's a lead-in. That's a lead-in to what I wanted to talk about tonight. Because last week we talked about intimacy. We talked about how the fundamental piece of intimacy is communication. You can't really be intimate without communicating. I mean, you can have sex without communicating because you don't even need, if I pay for you, we ain't got to talk about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or if we just have a mutual agreement that we're going to be friends with benefits, we don't have to have a whole lot of chatter about it. Let's just go ahead and do whatever we need to do and we'll be done about it. So you can have sex and not be intimate. We determined last week that is not intimacy. But that intimacy has to do with closeness, has to do with knowledge and knowing. We wound up getting on the scriptures about the men in Solomon and Gomorrah, how they wanted to know the angel. Mm-hmm. They wanted to have sex with him, but that still wasn't intimacy. How it's given, but the main word was communication. That's how you know the person you talk to the most is the person who you have the tightest bond with. That's intimacy, and it doesn't have to necessarily be between opposite sex. There can be intimacy between two women because they pray together and they have each other's back and they make sure that they keep each other's stuff confident, in confidence, and they make sure that they care for others. That's a level of intimacy. Or two guys who make sure that that the other is accountable for making sure they come to church or making sure they read their Bible and praying together, or but communication is a big piece of that. So we were talking about that, and just a spin-off of what I was talking about before in the news, and that the opposite of intimacy would be, well, throw out a couple. I have a word in my mind, and it's not quite an antonym, but throw out a word. What's the opposite? What do you think the opposite of intimacy is? The opposite of intimacy. It's broad. This is really general, really broad. We're not gonna spend all day trying to figure the word out. The opposite of intimacy,
Disaffection.
Yeah, it might be disaffection, might be coldness, might be something else. But tell me an action. I guess more what I'm thinking of is really an action of when you're not intimate. You say you're intimate, but you're not intimate with somebody. What is an action that might happen with somebody? If I say I'm intimate with you and really I'm not, I'm actually doing something else. What is that called? What would you call it?
Lies.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely lies. Definitely lies.
Disrespect.
Definitely disrespect. Be racist, I don't want to. This is the word I wanted to get at today. And please keep me on point because I got this meeting that I'm supposed to go to upstairs. This is the word. This is when you're in a relationship with somebody, betrayal. Let's talk about cheating tonight. Everything we've been talking about has to do with intimacy, but not just with us. Not just on a horizontal level, but on a vertical level. I try and make a point to make the connection between us down here and God. How do you know somebody's cheating? Ever been cheated on?
Yeah.
You ever been cheated on? I wish I had that testimony. How do you know when you've been cheated on? How do you know when your friend's been cheated on? Even if you haven't been, we watch enough television almost to see at least telltale signs. How do you know if somebody's cheating?
Words and actions don't match up.
Okay. Hypocrisy.
Yep.
What else? How do you know when somebody's cheating? That hurts too. How do you know when somebody's cheating? Hey, I know I'm not going to do all the talking tonight, so they're going to help me. Hypocrisy is one. How do you know when somebody's cheating? Or how do you recognize when somebody might be cheating on somebody else? What are some of the signs? What are some of the signs, even if you don't know any personally, what are some of the signs that you even see on television?
Sneakiness.
Oh, sneaking. Anything you got to do when you sneak that makes you sneak and you creeping, you already know it's not right. It's from the enemy. Definitely sneaking, going around. Is there something good about it? Is there anything good about sneaking? I mean, what's so great about it? A lot of people are sneaking, doing some other stuff. What feels good about sneaking? Now, everybody knows this. Huh? It's a thrill. It's T-H-R-I-L-L. It is definitely thrill. How do you know? How do you? Now this is when I wish my nephew was here. This is when Malik needs to be here. Let's see what he would say about this. How you know if somebody is cheating? You got the sneaking, you got the thrill. Definitely, let me just go ahead, because you said words and actions, but let me just go ahead and put the word lies. Lies. Cheating or infidelity, which is the big grown-up word. Infidelity. Infidelity. Infidelity is the word when you're really unfaithful. How you know somebody's cheating on somebody else?
Sorry?
How you know somebody's cheating?
Well, all right.
I'm ashamed. How do you know somebody's cheating? Even if you've never been cheated on, you can look and say,
You check their Facebook page.
you check behind them. Okay. So they leave evidence?
Yes.
Ultimately they do. They don't think they do, but they leave evidence. What else? Let's go. How do you know somebody's cheating? You said, girl, you need to leave him alone because he is a fool. He's a dog. He's a mess. How do you know that? What sign might you see that tell you something's not right?
Well, this is not, I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like who I've talked to. Well, I guess one way. This person I knew, her friend would come to her house in another car. But
What? Suspicious activity.
like it was just
And it wasn't his car?
no, he doesn't have it. So he would say that he got it from like a friend or something like that.
Oh, how do you know when somebody's cheating on you?
Well,
How do you know?
it's a disconnection.
Because that's good. That's very good, huh?
It's a
It's
disconnection.
something weird. It's kind of awkward when you with them.
It's a disconnection.
Okay, well, it's definitely a disconnection.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you know? So if the girl who's cheating on you comes and she's looking at you and y'all chatting and everything, you can look at her and say, "You look like a cheater today. What are you doing? What's up?"
Yeah.
Like the Orbis commercial.
It's
Dirty mouth. All right. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
kind of starts before that though.
It
It
kind
starts
of.
before you actually kind of meet. Like,
Oh, okay. Hey, Sister Miller.
Hi. Remember we have a meeting tonight at 8:30?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Does your husband know?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
really? So,
Cousin.
807. 807.
Okay.
So, yeah, like, if you're already in a relationship, the lack of communication begins or starts before the person actually commits to cheating.
Okay. So there's a breakdown somewhere. Lack of communication. That's a very big one, considering that the opposite, and I keep saying opposite, but it's not quite the opposite, but something's missing. And intimacy, the biggest part of intimacy is communication. So when you are ready to cheat on somebody or somebody's cheating on you, normally somewhere there's a lack of communication. And when you do communicate, it's full of lies, right? Turn to Exodus 32. Let's talk about it.
We on the fast track tonight.
Exodus 32. I'm the only one in here married. So the cheating, us cheating, your cheating right now wouldn't necessarily be called adultery, but it could be called what?
Fornication?
Certainly, definitely. Yes, but you can be fornicating with somebody you're in a relationship with.
Yep.
But yours would be idolatry.
Wow.
That's just straight up cheating on God. What is an idol? Let's talk. Let's go.
Something you put before God.
Right. Something you put
Anything
before
you put
God.
before God.
Anything you put before, or worship as God, right?
Yeah.
Put before or worshipped. That's big. It really has one P, as God. That is idolatry. And idolatry is so easy to fall into. The account that you're looking at in your Bible right now is the account of the children of Israel after they come out, the calf after they come out of Egypt, and they're worshiping this golden calf, right?
So Exodus 16?
Yeah, 32.
32.
Exodus 32. Okay? This is the thing about wanting somebody or something that you really aren't dedicated to. This is the thing. A few things about us. I'm going too fast because my time is out. There's a few things about us, right? One is we have a natural tendency to worship. You do understand that? We have a natural tendency to want to love and be loved by something. That's why this whole imagery about Jesus Christ and the bride and the groom coming together and all these wonderful things, and him chasing after us and seeking us from before eternity, and then giving himself for us, and then us coming to be with him, adorned, the scripture saying in Revelation, as a bride adorned in white, fine white linen, dressed for her husband. And Revelation 21 talks about how he saw the kingdom, the New Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. You know, all this whole big love story thing. The one thing about it is, it's natural to worship. I'm not talking about the antics and the stuff we call worship, because the stuff we call worship isn't necessarily worship that we do in the church, like on a Sunday morning. That's not necessarily worship, depending on what people's motives are and whether or not people are even saved. Some people could be crying and you don't know why they're crying. That doesn't mean they're in worship. But we have a natural tendency to want to love and be loved and to give ourselves completely to somebody. Now, my nephew would disagree. He was saying, no, it's not. I ain't never been in love. I ain't gonna never be in love. But it's natural for us to worship. That's how God built us, even from the very beginning, going all the way back to Genesis. He built us to have a relationship with us. What does it say in Genesis? Let's talk about the account of Adam and Eve. What does it say? Tell me about the story of Adam and Eve.
From which part?
The very beginning.
Oh.
Not from like in the beginning. The
Got
first
that.
day was like, right, we're not from that beginning, but from the time Adam comes onto the scene, God gives him what? Tell me what he's done. He's given him a wife, and he's taken from his rib, and he's giving him a job, and all the stuff that y'all say y'all want. Adam had from the very beginning.
He ain't no money though.
Right, he didn't need no money, which is good. Right, talking to the camera. He didn't need nobody. Everything was laid out for him. Why? Not just so that God can, play chess with people, but so that we can have a picture of him wanting to walk with us in the cool of the garden any day, wanting us to have intimacy with him, wanting us to be with him, right? But then something happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Good old devil.
What happened, guys?
He was a snake.
True.
Oh, okay, and that's right. Help our listening, our audience, our viewers.
Woman.
That's the thing though. He tempted the woman, and the man just ate it.
Right.
So you can't just be like,
Because
it's the
the
woman's
man was
fault.
already
Really?
tempted.
Oh boy,
The man wasn't tempted.
Yeah,
She
he
came
was.
and said, "Eat this," and he said, "Okay." What is it?
So I don't know if that's worse or better, but
That sounds real stupid.
the
He
woman,
already
what the
tempted.
Bible says, like only come with the Bible says that she was beguiled by the serpent because she saw the fruit, that it was good for food, and that it was good to make one wise, and she did eat.
She purposely
Right.
disobeyed.
But the Bible says that Adam was there with her. So read it, right?
It does.
He's right there with her, and she gives it to him, her husband Adam, and he did eat. And then when God said, "Where y'all at?" What happened? They're over here hiding, right?
Because they
It
know
was
they're
naked.
naked.
Because they're naked. Well, who told you
It was
that?
naked.
You always busted, and every time you attempt to cover yourself, your leaves are going to crack and dry because you can't cheat and sneak and get by. So they got in these leaves, but after a while, because the leaves are disconnected from the tree, after a while, even your greenest, one most beautiful lie, after a while gets a crack in it. And after a while, it's either going to have to be either replaced by another leaf, or it's going to have to, you just have to drop it all and just come clean and confess.
You know what my mom said about the same thing though? That with that situation right there with the whole Adam and Eve thing, when they covered themselves with a leaf, they only covered certain parts of their body, still leaving the rest of their body exposed. And it wasn't until God forgave them and gave them actually fully clothing.
Yeah,
There's a difference between covering yourself and being fully clothed.
blood had to be shed for them to be fully clothed.
Yeah.
And that's the only time we could be clothed. Somebody had to spill blood in order for us to be fully covered. But we sneaking, we hiding, we peeping. This is the thing. Adam, what happened?
Oh, you had a word though.
The woman you gave,
Oh, okay.
the woman you gave me, she gave to me and I did eat. Eve! The serpent beguiled me and I did eat. Right? So then he curses the serpent, curses women, you got the pain deal and being subjected and blah, blah, blah. Adam has to work now about the toil, the sweat of his brow, and the land would soon not yield like it used to. So it was very costly, very expensive sacrifice that he made. Hey, baby. So we have a natural tendency to worship because from the very beginning, God had already designed for us to be walking with him and talking with him and communicating with him freely, uninhibited, unhindered communication. That's how he designed us in the beginning. So to want to be loved is natural. It's unnatural, and you have to work not to be loved. At the very base level, you want to be liked. You see what I'm saying? At the very base level, you want eye candy or somebody on your arm to be able to say, oh yeah, this is who I'm with, because it makes you feel good on the very base level. So this is a little bit about us. This is us. Before we start talking about this cheating, we talk about cheating. How do you know if somebody's cheating? And we talk about relationships, of course. How do you know? I'm not talking about cheating on the test. How do you know if somebody's cheating on you or on somebody else?
They acting strange, like they acting different.
So she right on it. You right. We listed a couple things. One of that was suspicious activity, starting to act a little weird, not the same, something going on. Definitely.
Oh, they actually, I'm sorry. They actually tell someone, not that person. They tell someone else.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boasting.
Wow, girl. So they actually do tell
Yeah.
somebody?
Yeah.
So when you cheat on somebody, you tell other people?
You tell someone else.
Someone else? Like who? Your friend, your boy, your girl?
Yeah.
Who do you tell?
Usually.
Really?
Someone
Yeah.
real close, I
Like
guess.
real
Oh,
close.
that hurts. That makes it even worse. When you think about it, because now somebody else is looking at you like you the fool.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the person that person is cheating with, but somebody else who's on the outside looking at you like, and then they're not letting you know that you're getting hurt.
That's messed up.
That is what's messed up.
But they come up this too.
Oh, trust me, what goes around comes around. If you see somebody doing me wrong and you don't stop them, that's, oh my goodness, that's in the Bible too. If you see somebody on their way to hell and going through changes, and you don't try to say anything about them, their blood is going to be required of your hands. You know somebody's doing what's wrong. You know they're not doing what's right. You know they're on the broad road that leads to destruction, and you either participate or contribute, or you don't say anything at all. Your silence is consent, and the Bible says that their blood will be required of your hands. God's going to ask you about that person. Wow, that's pretty big. Cheating. So if you one of the people that tell that your boy done told, yeah, I hit that and I'm with that, you better say something, because God's going to, don't touch me, because you're going to leave a finger, you're going to leave a handprint on me. It's going to be bloody. It would be better for you not to know if somebody is willfully participating in sin than for you to contribute or to consent by your silence and let them go on and let them walk right on the railroad track. Let them lay down and you not say anything about it. That is very serious.
That's serious.
That all by
Goes
itself.
back to what we were talking about before at the very beginning.
That's right.
Don't ask, don't tell thing.
That whole don't ask, don't tell. If you know somebody you know somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do, or they're living a certain way. We better be careful because we have our own little don't ask, don't tell policy. You know what I'm saying? You kind of see all the signs and you know what they're doing. You know, we have to be so careful about that. But we have a natural tendency to worship. Why else do you think people cheat? Why else? This is how you know, but why else do you think we cheat?
Insecurity.
Wow, insecurity and curiosity. Definitely. Insecurity and curiosity. What else? Why do people cheat? Think about it, because I'm about to make this vertical. We're talking about horizontal right now, why we do with other people.
Feeling neglected.
Neglect.
Feeling of neglect.
Maybe just, you know what? I'm gonna write just what you said, because that's more accurate. Feeling of neglect. Because you may not be neglecting them, but if they feel like you're not doing enough, they'll still cheat, even if you're doing everything you know to do. That's more accurate. Feeling neglected. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, it's just, this whole curiosity piece is big, because that could just be
Straight lust.
straight lust. I'm gonna put lust and curiosity down here together.
It's actually one more.
Oh, what else you got? There's a couple more. We gotta figure out why we don't have our relationship right, too. Why else? Oh man, pay for that. I've been writing some things down, just thinking about this whole thing. Oh yes. Keep going. You're doing pretty good. Keep going. What else you got? Lust, curiosity. Why else does a person cheat? These are the big ones right here. Why do I feel I need to go somewhere else to get what I need?
Because you did.
Huh? Say it again?
She
what's
said,
the word?
because you did something.
Because you're not
I'm getting back at
satisfied.
you.
Oh!
I'm getting back at you.
Oh my gosh. Revenge and hostility? You know, I knew people that actually did that.
That's a two-edged sword right
Yep.
Yes, it is.
there.
I'm mad, so I'm gonna go buck wild because I'm mad. So, but this is because you did it to me, I'm gonna do it to you. And I knew it was terrible because he was sleeping with as many people as would sleep with him. And he was with this one person, and these people were married. And instead of her saying, you know what, forget about it, she figured she's gonna try to one-up him. So she started sleeping with as many people as she possibly could.
And they both got the
How
hell.
did that turn out?
Yep.
Well, one particular party, female, she became an elder in the church. She turned her life around. After a while, she hit the brick wall. After she got her heart busted and broken and realized that wasn't working. That does not work, because now you got a whole lot of junk and he's going on, he's having fun. His situation is not so good. He's not feeling so good. He's not feeling so good. He's not feeling so good.
It's not HIV.
Yeah, he doesn't feel so good. But, you know, and they tried to work it out.
I was faking.
Right. Because you ain't want to name a Jew. You know, you don't want none of that stuff for you. I mean, but still, he's not feeling so good. But it could have been a bad situation because she tried to get back at him and she put herself out there. Her name was through the mud. It was like, it was all messed up because she was trying to get back at him. And he was like, oh, okay, well, he felt more justified. Well, she's doing it, I guess I can do whatever. So when she realized her sleeping with his boy and sleeping with his people and sleeping with his cousin and sleeping with, it didn't work. Because when she went home, she had a conscience. You see what I'm saying? And God had to really minister her. She has a tremendous ministry for young women right now. An excellent ministry for young women. She does. And for broken women and for women of infidelity. She has like a big fat ministry right now for things like that. But it took a whole lot of heartbreak. And you don't want to have to go through that. Our natural tendency,
red marker.
Huh?
She had a red marker. But that's like a red.
I got this kind of red marker because this guy, he supplies the class with all kinds of tools and
It's
things.
the staples. Call it.
I found out the thing. I found that in like one of them giant Tupperware things in the house. Ain't nobody using this.
This is the thing about it though, and I'm glad you said it because red is definitely in order. With everything that's said and done here in this account, we want to make sure we get to the Bible account. It says, 1 through 6 says, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, I underlined that in red in my Bible, it says, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we know not, or we wot not, what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off your earrings.
He gave the instructions immediately.
Break off your earring immediately. Didn't say there was any hesitation. He said, okay, well, I can take care of that. He said, break off your earrings, which are in your ear, in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all, I circled the word all in red in my Bible. And all the people break off the earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graven tool after he had made a molten calf. And they said, and then he said, and they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, that which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made a proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast unto the Lord. I have several problems so far right here. What are some of the bad things already that you see in this account?
Idol, altar.
You have an idol. Oh, skinny. You have an idol. Right? You have an altar. Because the last thing we just read was, okay, tomorrow there's a feast to the Lord. So you have us here on one day doing one thing, hypocrisy. Here we are, we're getting ready to have a big fat party. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And then tomorrow, we're going to worship unto the Lord. What's the problem with that?
Double-minded minds.
A double-minded man is unstable, James says, in all his ways. You cannot mix. If you say you love God, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot attempt to put this mixture of worship together and think you're going to come out on top. It does not work. You either have to love him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself, or you either have to go ahead and do what you do, but don't expect to go to God's heaven. You got to figure that out. You cannot mix. So they say, okay, well, we'll do a little bit of this over here. That is the epitome of infidelity. Infidelity means unfaithfulness. Today I'm going to be holy while I'm at church and while I'm singing in the choir. And then when I go home or go to work, I'm going to listen to you call God's name in vain. I'm going to cuss you out when I get mad. I'm going to listen to whatever I want to listen to in my car. And I'm not going to worry about anybody. I dare somebody to say, you cannot do that. That is a bride who's, imagine a bride who was standing on the curb and a car drove by and she got mud and she's on her way to the church. She got mud from head to toe. You can't walk up and think you're going to get married like that. You are contaminated. You got spots in your stuff. You have your linen is no longer white, it's no longer pure. You are not fit to be married. And you know what? It would be better if you were out there in Romans chapter 1 doing the unthinkable, depraved thing than for you to come in any kind of way and think it's okay if I just give God half. God says it's got to be all me or nothing at all. Just like we want, right? You either going to take all of me or nothing. No, you cannot have sex with me and then think it's okay and go and talk to my friend.
Wow.
You cannot go out. You can't leave a date with me, kiss me goodnight, and as soon as I drive off, stay on the porch and get in the car with my friend. You can't. That's not right.
Why your friend here?
That's not right. Hey, how do you know somebody's cheating on you?
It's inconsistent.
That's a big comprehensive word. It's the truth. Just completely inconsistent. We got that in a couple of places. But you can't. You cannot worship God over here and worship. Here's the calf. We're in Exodus chapter 32, and my time is always going so fast. Exodus chapter 32. So you can. So that's one thing. And then it says, and just to give you a little bit of background, yeah, Moses, here's Moses